Whether your beer is in a bottle, can, or glass, kick back and relax. It's Better on Draft.
Hello and welcome to Better on Draft. My name is Rob. I'm one of your hosts. Today's show is a Michigan Beer Series show. We haven't had one of those in a little while. We will be talking to Alex from Cabin North Brewing. But before we get going, hey, Wendy, how are you doing? What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Passenger from Cabin North Brewing.
Very official looking packaging there.
I know, right? It is available to go, by the way.
Oh, excellent. I have a beer brewery, Weizengut. I'm getting started. It was a rough night, a long night last night. Saw some friends I hadn't seen in a while. I had a great time. So I'm going with the easy beers today. So beautiful Weizengut, which is a Hefeweizen. And with us, as I said earlier, is Alex from Cabin North Brewing. Hi there, Alex. What you drinking?
Hey there. I'm drinking Snowdrift by Arvon. The folks out of Grand Rapids, great brewery. They're making great product. Unfortunately, I forgot to grab a bottle of my own stuff last night. Yeah. But I am drinking out of our glassware. So
nice. Oh, that's pretty.
Cheers.
Excellent. So
It is nice glassware.
as I said, you're from Cabin North Brewing, and can you tell us a little bit about that? Especially, how did you open without us finding out about you until you were open?
We are a scrappy, stealthy little team. Opening a brewery was kind of always my dream for a long time now. I grew up on the East Coast, and I was there kind of during the haze craze, over a decade ago now. I remember traveling, up to Treehouse when they were first getting going, Trillium. All those beers really left an impression on me. And my girlfriend, my wife at the time, bought me a homebrew kit, as most homebrewers kind of start. And I started in my little New York closet. I was on the Upper East Side. Literally just had, tiny little 1 gallon kind of jug that I would ferment beer in. It was awful, as you can imagine. Just left in my closet with no AC, running up to 90 degrees. And that's kind of how I got started. But from there, I kind of just got obsessed, kept digging, and the dream kept kind of growing and growing from there. I ultimately moved out to Michigan. It's been 7 years now. And moving out here, obviously, I got a little more space than I did in my tiny New York apartment, and built out my homebrew system when I was living over in the West Village area, and just kept kind of refining the recipes. A lot of the recipes that we serve now on draft are kind of the ones that I was fiddling around with back then, over 7 years ago, and just kept kind of honing them, testing them. And again, the dream kept growing, and I really fell in love with kind of the city. It's an amazing city built on resiliency. And especially where we are over in Northwest Goldberg New Center. When we first moved here, my wife actually teaches over at one of the high schools over there, and I just saw so much potential. She grew up in Baltimore, and so she introduced me to that city, and there's a lot of similarities between the two. Just both cities really get a bad rep, but both just have incredible people. Obviously have fallen in hard times, but old industrial, really, really beautiful industrial bones. And New Center reminded me of a lot of that. And I knew that was kind of where we wanted to eventually plant our flag when we were ready to go. And ultimately, some friends of ours asked me to, I would kind of brew the beers and pass them out to friends. And some friends asked me to actually cater the beer for their wedding. This was a few years back, and I got such a good reception that I decided it was time. And from there, we kind of hit the ground running, and started building the plumbing that was needed to open, and eventually found the space that we have at 1314 Holden over kind of in that cool little corner. We have the Motown Museum, we have Michigan and Trumbull, amazing pizza, Lincoln Factory, marble art, really cool spot. And so we opened this June. I brought a lot of my old recipes and some new ones, and we've gotten a great reception, and I'm excited to see where we go from here.
I'm going to give Wendy a chance after this, but one thing that you said, I got stuck on, and I need to go back to it. So Baltimore, did you have spaghetti, and are you going to bring something like that to Detroit, or start something like that in Detroit?
Can't say I'm familiar, actually.
Okay. Okay. I think it's Wet City in Baltimore is the one that invented it. It's a Miller High Life with Aperol and lemon in it.
Okay.
It's quite tasty.
Never say never, right?
That's right.
Sounds good to me.
So let's go back a little bit more to the neighborhood that you're in. I love the space. And what is it? Did you pick that because you're living over there? Like, how did you end up where you're at? And tell people a little bit more about why it's so cool over there.
Yeah. So we actually so I got some brokers to kind of show me some spots that were looking for tenants, and this one, I remember when I toured it, just really stuck with me. I mean, it was an absolute nightmare when I first walked in there. It didn't have doors on it, really. It was a cold, dark shell. There was a big sand pit over where the bathrooms are right now. It needed a lot of work, but I just saw a lot of potential in it, especially with the high ceilings, the cool top windows. I knew if we added just a little more light to the space, we could really bring some warmth to it. And then it had a beautiful kind of exposed brick, but that I really love. But the area, my wife has worked over there since we moved here, and I knew the area was a lot of really cool businesses were popping up over there. I knew it had great potential, and that space, to me, when I toured it, was just screaming brewery. It had kind of the production side, and then the other side where the tap room is, again, against that kind of very cool exposed brick. We added obviously some cabin vibes, which I can explain the concept a little later on. But and then it had the big patio space that we eventually built out that I knew was important to me. Being able to enjoy a beer outside. It's one of my favorite pastimes, especially under kind of cool Michigan summer nights. I just love a good cold beer under some string lights out there. So I knew I had the potential to build that out. And then it wasn't too far from downtown. You're close to 94, you're close to 75. So folks come in from really anywhere, could stop on their way, whether they're going to see a game or coming from a game, stop in, grab a beer. Great attractions, again, Motown's over there. They have their own expansion going on. Obviously, there's the clubs. There's great food. I love Oak and Reel, Freya, Bob's over there. A lot of great food. And so I just felt like it was a very crafty, up and coming neighborhood, and it was kind of where I wanted to join and try to contribute to the community and help it grow. And so I love that corner of Detroit. I think it's great. I think it's on the up and up, and I wanted to be a part of it.
So where did the Cabin North concept come from?
Yeah, so I mentioned I was over on the East Coast. I was working in New York City, and at the time, my buddies and I would during the winters go up to Vermont. One of my good buddies had a cabin up in Vermont that we would go to right next to Killington, which is a famous skiing mountain out there. And we would go for the weekend. And obviously, this was the height of kind of hazy IPAs and the craft boom back then, and we would chase all the new beers. And I just remember like that experience, just being with really great friends, kind of leaving your worries in the city, just trying, escaping and enjoying time with good company over great beverages. And that was really like the sentiment or the experience that I wanted to kind of be the center of my brewery that eventually I knew I wanted to open. And so, a cabin to me is kind of the quintessential, relaxing environment where you can really just, leave your problems at the door, come with good friends, your family, and just enjoy time with them. And so for me, wanting to recreate that for folks, that was kind of the concept for the brewery. When I moved to Michigan, I realized, the cabin culture was even more intense than I think it is over on the East Coast. Everyone goes up north during the summer to get away with their family, friends again. And so it was that similar concept. And so I just wanted to recreate that here in Detroit for folks, not needing to wait for summer to go, or just recreate a space, 20, 30 minutes from where they are, where they can have that experience. They can come, forget their daily worries, and come with friends and family and sit down and enjoy their company over a great beverage. So that's kind of our concept. I mean, we're obviously a small tap room in Detroit. No distribution right now. We're really focused on kind of the hospitality side of the business. We want folks to come in when they think of us, we want them to think of a place where, they can come, get great service, have great beverages, and just really relax and enjoy themselves. And so, my team right now is really focused on the service aspect, and making sure that everyone who walks through our doors gets excellent service. And obviously it's on me to make sure they get a great beverage. And then we spent a lot of time thinking and designing the space to make sure it's comfortable. And, a lot of thought went into, making those old industrial bones of the building into a blend of kind of that industrial and warm cabin vibe. We have some of the wood cladding, a lot of the lighting, the lanterns. We wanted to make it feel cozy. The lighting is warm. So yeah, that's really the concept in a nutshell. We're a tap room. We want to make sure people have variety when they come. Beer is only the start for us. We'll be offering cocktails very soon, and hopefully eventually wine. We have coffee on tap as nitro coffee. We have house seltzer, which we hope to, if folks want to add a shot of vodka to that. So we really see ourselves as like a neighborhood tap room, right? Folks can come in and again, just relax in a comfortable environment. So that's kind of the concept. We want to obviously eventually start moving our beer beyond our four walls, but for now, we just want to serve our community and be good neighbors.
So, and right now you don't have food available, but they can bring food in, right?
They can bring food in. Obviously, Michigan Trumbull is right across the street. It's a great option, and they're great people as well. We welcome all food. Obviously, we have some other great options as well in the neighborhood that we encourage as well, and we welcome. We're working on getting food trucks to come through, as well as obviously folks want more options than just pizza. So we actually on Sunday we'll have Bama's Barbecue coming out. We're having a little pop up for the community. We're gonna have some rare plants posted up and ceramics, and so folks can come shop small businesses and have a little barbecue. And we're all about serving the community as well. And so that's kind of what we're all about. And I should mention also, it's a super cool, I don't know if folks are familiar, but across the street is the old Lincoln Motor facility. And our building was actually like the auto supplier back in the day in the 40s for the Lincoln Motor facility. And my building in particular was an expansion of the auto suppliers right next door. And so that's how you kind of get that old kind of very cool industrial vibe. Eventually that was shut down in like the 50s, and they had a cabinet manufacturer. So if you ever come and look up at the ceiling, you'll see a lot of like weird kind of beams and machinery up there that, they just left and just kind of painted it. But it's kind of cool to look up there and see kind of old history of Detroit. Obviously, the auto industry left its mark, and it still lives today in our building.
One of the things that I have noticed is that parking out front is kind of limited. What do you suggest for people who come when it's kind of busy there?
Yeah, so we have our own lot. It's on Wilbur. It's very tricky right now given all the construction. Obviously, we're right next to the Henry Ford expansion that they're doing. The new hospital is actually going to come up right to our backside, and so a lot of the roads are closed, and Google doesn't give you great instructions when you're coming to us. We did post an FAQ on our Instagram. We will pin that to make sure folks can find that easily. But there is a lot. If you go up Lincoln Street and take a right onto Wilbur, there's a lot at the end of that road on the left, and it's available parking for us. So there's about 30 slots in there. Typically, it's fairly empty during our operating hours. And so encourage people to park there. Also, people tend to park at Art Block, which is kind of diagonally across Holden and Lincoln from us. So feel free to park there as well.
So you had said that the bathroom is where there used to be a sand pit, which sounds very cat litter box like. But were there other huge changes that you had to make in order to adapt to the space, or just adapt the space to you?
Luckily, no. I mean, there wasn't much in there. So it's a really cool space. It's kind of like a big rectangular block, and there wasn't much we needed to kind of demo, other than obviously it needed plumbing and all electrical and all that needed to be installed. And there is a mezzanine actually that has, if folks come to the tap room, they'll see some stairs going up that are closed off for now, but we're hoping to eventually open that up. There's about 1,000 square feet. You get a really cool view kind of down into the brewery, and there's the windows. You can kind of look out into the patio. It's currently just storage, but if folks support us, we will definitely build that out to add additional seating, and pretty cool space up there as well. But no, there wasn't too much we needed to do. There was no, the only thing that comes to mind is there was no doors on the building. I used to have to go through other tenant space just to get into my building. And so, we cut down, there's a roll up on the front that faces Holden that goes into the patio. We cut that out, which will obviously be really nice during shoulder season, going right out into the patio. And then we had to cut out some doors. And then obviously, we put up some walls. It was really important to me to, be able to kind of like see the brewery itself. So in the back, there's a knee-high wall, so you can kind of go into the back and look over into the brewery, see the brew house itself, see the tanks. And then on the backside on Wilbur Street, there's a glass door. So if you just walk along, you can literally look directly into the brewery. You might even see me sometimes kind of fiddling around or brewing early in the morning on weekends or whatnot. So it was important for me to just make sure the brewery was a focal point as well. And folks can look in and just be reminded that they're in a brewery and it's not just a tap room. So it was an old building. There was a bunch of challenges going through, and a bunch of things we had to add or change that we didn't expect. But it turned out really nice.
So I sound like you chose the title president for your tagline on the show today, but are you also the brewer? That's what it sounded like.
I am the brewer. Yeah, we were, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're a scrappy little team. We're really it's me. I have three partners in the business. Two are silent. One helps is our kind of marketing lead, head of digital. So he's the one helping market and sell the business. And then in the day-to-day operations, the front of house staff is obviously really important. I have a manager who comes over from Great Notion. He's with them for quite some time, brings a lot of really great experience, and he's built a stellar team, a hospitality team. So we're really only, working kind of in the brewery. It's kind of four of us. Obviously we hope to grow from there, but again, we're really focused on just making sure the service and the experience of our guests is top notch, and obviously next phases will be working to make sure our beers can be found across the Metro Detroit area. So, but yeah, I'm the brewer. So again, you'll see me a lot of the times tinkering back there or brewing. We have a little 5-barrel system. From Alpha, we have 2 5-barrel kind of uni tanks and 2 10-barrel uni tanks, and then we have 2 5-barrel lagering tanks. Our first lager actually just went on draft last week, and it's a Pilsner, which seems to be having a heyday. It's a big article came out today with Urban Rest as one of the featured breweries. Shout out to them for all the great work they've done on that. Obviously winning the gold at Gavith last year, and a lot of other Detroit breweries obviously contributing to that style. So, we hope we can contribute something, and folks will take a second to try ours. But we have many more lagers coming. Our next lager will be a Vienna lager, hopefully coming out in a couple weeks. We love lagers, and obviously if you come to our tap room, you'll see we love our IPAs too, our hazies. I think we have 4 or 5 of them on tap right now, and I like to say each one has its own personality. Obviously I mentioned at the beginning kind of Treehouse, Trillium, Alchemist were kind of all the ones I was chasing, 10 years ago. And those folks left a deep impression on my brewing style and a lot of the beers that that are on our taps right now. And obviously using a lot of different kind of techniques and methods. We try to make sure that each of our IPAs doesn't taste the same, that they each have their own unique personality. And so hopefully folks come out and give them a try. But that's not all we do. We also we have a nice porter on draft. We have a blueberry lemon white peach sour, and then our best seller is actually our Kolsch, which just probably my oldest recipe, funny enough. But folks have, I just had to rush and brew another batch of that because we were just running low. So if you come this weekend, you'll probably get the first keg of the new batch of our maple beer. So
excellent. And for people who will be catching this show not live, that is the day that it drops pretty much. So I should have this out Saturday, which is this weekend, the 15th.
So I have tried a few of those that you just mentioned at this point. Before I get into the actual beer styles, though, I want to talk about the names, because there's been a few stories I've gotten that I thought were really cute. So, how do you name your beers?
So, obviously I tried to keep the cabin theme alive. A lot of our beers are named after flowers. Cats, it's a big one. But my wife is Lily, so our what I think of as our flagship IPA is Lily beer, and that was kind of the first IPA where spent a lot of time iterating and trying to find my own unique style, especially for like the New England style IPAs. My daughter is Dahlia, so that's another beer. And then our our cat's Porch Cat is our pale ale, which is we use our Kolsch base, and then we add a heavy dose of Citra to it. But Porch Cat is we were living over in West Village during the pandemic, and we went away to Baltimore to visit my wife's family and came back, and there was a cat living under our porch. And we would go out there to have a drink, after work, 6 to 7 p.m. at night, and he would just come out and hang out with us. And obviously, we gave him a little food, and he kept coming back, and eventually we took him in. So Walty is his name, and he is our Porch Cat. He's what the Porch Cat beer is named after. There will be a Walty beer eventually, but Copycat is another one of our beers. It's an IPA. It was actually funny enough. I was trying to make a West Coast style IPA, hence the Copycat, since it was kind of at the time the cliche kind of IPA style. And I kind of didn't come up. It kind of missed the mark in terms of brewing a West Coast IPA, but I thought it was a pretty cool beer and pretty unique. The way it came out, it was kind of like a blend between West and East Coast styles at the time, and so Copycat is that's the thinking behind that name. Danny was another cat of ours who sadly passed away, but she was fierce and bold and had a very strong personality. And Danny is our coffee coconut porter that we do, and I thought her personality fit that beer a lot. So yeah, a lot of our names come from just my personal kind of life, but kind of fit the cabin vibes with animals and
I love it.
loved ones.
And Danny, I had that today. Oh my God, that's so good.
Thank you.
That porter is delicious. And I like Dahlia as well too. That was my favorite of the IPAs that I tried. Good.
Yeah, I love dark beers, so I'm very excited for colder season, so I can get some stouts on the menu and explore that style more.
Yeah, there's a few places I've been that have that have several hazies on, and I have done the tasting flight where you can't tell them apart. So I am glad that you are giving each one its own personality if other people do decide to do that. But I guess that's the question is, do you do flights?
We do flights. I know that's very controversial these days, but we do flights. And Detroit has a lot of great breweries, and I find a lot of them tend to focus on more traditional styles. And so the reason we offer so many kind of hazy and IPAs is I didn't find anyone really offering or exploring or offering that many kind of examples of the style. I personally obviously love hazy IPAs, and so I thought there potentially would be others like me who would want more of those. So that's kind of why we offer so many for the folks who do love their hoppy IPAs. Obviously a lot of great breweries in Detroit dive and specialize in kind of more traditional styles. We'll explore those a little bit, but we really wanted to contribute something of our own to Detroit in this area. And so, we do plan on kind of continuing IPAs to be our niche, but we'll definitely explore more. We plan to do a West Coast style, and it will be a collab. More to come on that, but yeah, you'll see a lot of different styles coming from us. We want to make sure that everyone, when they walk in our tap room, has a choice and can pick the variety that appeals most to them. So we'll make sure to have a wide breadth of beer on taps for everyone who comes in.
You said collab. I'm not going to press you for details because it doesn't sound like you're ready to announce, but does that mean that you're part of the brewing community now? You've got friends out there and know who to call on if like your yeast isn't working today or sorts of things.
That was definitely a bad problem to have if your yeast isn't working. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's, we're a small, scrappy team, and it's a grind, obviously, just building those relationships and, introducing our brand, our beer to the community. But yeah, I mean, the experience, the beer has been resonating with folks, and, we've been slowly building those relationships. So we're excited to continue that. And yeah, and again, like seems to be paying off because we'll be doing a collab that will hopefully be announcing here shortly, and we're super excited about it. And again, we want to continue to build those roots in the community and partner with other local players and continue to offer great beer to this great city.
I'm still just flabbergasted that you were able to open without, like, nobody in the community was like, where did they come from? Like, we saw it pop up and I was like, I have no idea. I haven't heard anything. And we've been hearing about stuff, other breweries that are going to open for years.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, we did it pretty quick, to be honest. We had socials. We launched, yeah, I would say pretty late, like end of last year. It was kind of a lot of it was just kind of not certain that it was gonna like go through. I mean, convincing the landlord to kind of play ball with us, that was a whole process and conversation, convincing that we had to go through, right? Getting the licensing and all that stuff is a headache on its own. Making sure the financing was in place to make sure, building the staff, obviously once you're to that point, you're almost certain you're going to open. But, I'm a transplant myself. So yeah, I think we were, there was folks who knew, but I guess not enough, but seems like folks are taking notice now. So that's
I think it's worked for you because there's a lot of buzz around the Sudden Brewery opening that nobody was expecting. There's definitely a lot of chatter and people saying, how did we not know?
Yeah, I feel like everywhere I've gone in the last few weeks, people are like, have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Good. That's what I love to hear.
It's awesome. And that first weekend you were open, everybody's like, hey, have you been there? I'm like, I just found out about it.
Yeah, we had a great reception from the industry. Our first day. I mean, I think we got funny enough, we got the license the day before we opened. I was actually brewing, and I got the note, the email from my lawyer saying, saying we got the license, and it was like literally like, we were ready to open in less than 12 hours later. And so, that's what I mean. It was all kind of just, trying to move milestone to milestone, because, given such a small team, you have to deal with so much to meet each milestone. You kind of forget that there's the whole factor of, making sure people know that you're there. But it seems like people are starting to find us, and, again, like the experience and the beer is starting to resonate with people. And again, we're trying to add more and more. We're trying to push to add more and more to make the experience better and better. Again, food trucks. We're really excited in building out our cocktail program. So again, more to come on that. But we're going to hopefully be partnering here with a local distillery who will kind of help us build out that. And we just, it's not just about the beer. It's really, again, about that experience, right? Being able to come to a comfortable, inviting tap room and get the experience that you expect and the level of service you expect from a friendly and friendly team. So we'll continue to build that out and build more offerings for our guests.
Well, I've definitely enjoyed the visits that I've had. I've noticed that there's definitely an emphasis put on making sure that the customer service is there. And obviously, I like the beer, or I wouldn't reach out. Maybe I would have. I don't know.
Yeah, and just a plug for our patio is live now with QR codes. So if folks want to come grab a pizza, maybe from Michigan and Trumbull across the street, or bring outside food and just head straight to the patio and sit down, there are cards on the picnic tables themselves that they can, open their phones and scan, and it'll bring you to our POS, and you can order a beer and you'll get a beer delivered to your table. You don't even have to go into the tap room if that's what you're looking for. So we're super excited about our patio, and we want to make it as easy as possible for folks who are just looking for maybe a quick bite and a quick beer to just start chowing down, sit down, and get a beer as fast as possible without even having to come to the tap room if that's what you're looking for. So
yeah, I was against
nice space.
I was against those QR codes, but that is the perfect way to use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, if you don't want to use it, feel free to come in and talk to one of our beer tenders. It's just an option. So
Yeah. No, I have come around on them. I don't like looking up menus on them, but if I can order there, then that's great.
Yeah. One other thing that we were pretty gung ho about was having physical menus too. Whenever I go to tap rooms, QR codes were a cool fad during COVID when obviously that was more important, but just having a physical menu to be able to hold in your hands and read was important for us. So there'll always be a physical menu for folks to have.
We had Berkeley Alley Brewing on about a year ago, I guess, and I was there a couple of months ago, and they have physical menus, which I very much appreciate, but they're pretty much done up like a newsletter.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. So they had all the stuff going on, and those things in the beer list, and as much of the beer list as they can for however long those menus last, right? But I thought it was really cute. It was a well done menu, and it was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, see, that's a nice touch that leaves an impression, right? And
right.
To me, that's what it's all about, like leaving memorable impressions on folks and guests.
Yeah.
So I know that there's a lot of construction going on right now. You mentioned that earlier. Have they given you an idea of when that's supposed to open up, or is it just going to be forever?
The project is supposed to end. The hospital is supposed to open, I believe, at the end of 2029. They have done an incredible job of staying on timeline, to my knowledge, at least. Obviously, construction is a difficult one to forecast, but from what I know, they do plan to finish on time. Our neighbors are actually some of the contractors. They had to actually form like a joint venture between three of I think of the largest kind of some of the largest general contractors in the nation to get that to build that new hospital, and they're great folks. And the latest I have is that they'll finish on time around the end of 2029, 2030. I am hoping they open the streets before then.
Right.
Because like I mentioned, it used to be the case where 3 of the 4 incoming streets to our location were closed. They just opened actually Holden, which has been really nice, all the way to I forget what the street is down there, but basically over to the lodge. So that's easier now if you're getting off the lodge to come over to us. They still have their construction like road closed sign up, but you can just ignore that and turn right or left onto Holden. But yeah, I'm hopeful within a year or two they'll open up those roads there. And then actually I should have mentioned on the parking, there's a new parking structure that Henry Ford built that is less than 100 feet away from us, which will be open to the public. And once they do open, Lincoln up that goes up to Grand Boulevard, that should be an option for folks in terms of parking too. And I think they'll have like 2,000 parking spots in that structure, which will help. But yeah, I mean, everything it seems like over there is under construction. I mean, Motown's going on; they're under their $70 million expansion right now, which looks awesome and looks amazing. And I think they're reopening next summer, if I'm not mistaken, which will be really cool. They're but yeah, the whole area is under construction. And again, it's why I'm so bullish on the area. I think there's so many cool attractions. The DIA is not too far from us as well, which is an amazing arts institution, as you guys I'm sure are aware. And yeah, it's kind of something we just have to live with. We caused our own problems during our construction, I'm sure, for our neighbors. Luckily, we're past that. But
hopefully those construction workers will come in for an after shift beer.
Yeah, they've been showing us some love for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah. They were peeking in during construction, asking when we would be open, and they're
so they knew.
Yeah, well, so they were the ones who I had to go through their space to get to my space.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So they were. I remember. I mean, this was like a year before we opened, and they were like, "I heard you're opening a brewery." I was like, "Yeah, but we're a ways away from opening." But yeah, they were excited. Legacy Fitness Gym is right next door to us as well. So shout out to them. They've shown us some love. If you guys are into CrossFit or want to join a gym, highly recommend looking into them. So a lot of activity in the area.
There's always people walking around.
Yeah. And I don't. At night it gets pretty crazy with the club over there as well, as you can imagine. There's been some mornings where I'm coming in to brew at 5 or 6 a.m. and folks are getting into Ubers.
It's the old shift change.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah, the building across the street is the apartments that has no noise ordinance.
Yeah,
it says it right across everything, at all their websites and everything, about when you apply to get an apartment there. No noise ordinance.
I really wonder how those folks sleep at night. I guess they don't. They're just partying too.
It sounds like they knew what they were signing up for, or maybe they didn't realize what they were signing up for, but they knew at some level.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get that because I'm mostly a night owl, so which has come in handy in my current job. So I get that, but at the same time, I also want to go to sleep when I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Guess you just need some earbuds. Although, their music, especially on bass nights, can get pretty loud. Our tap room was shaking last Friday. Doors were rattling. So it was a fun scene for sure. But yeah, it's a lively area for sure. I mean, literally from dawn to dusk to past midnight. The area seems to go and go, and then we're not too far from other spots too. We're 5 to 10 minutes from Midtown. You shoot down Trumbull to Woodbridge down to Corktown. We get a lot of folks coming in from going to a Tigers game, or like I mentioned, we're right next to the highways, so we're kind of easy stop for folks going downtown or just enjoying the city. So, but yeah, hopefully that road situation opens up soon, because I will be happy to not have to loop around when I'm coming off the highway and spend another 5 minutes trying to get to our spot.
Yeah, for my Broadway and Detroit friends, it's not that far from the Fisher either.
Oh, that too. Yeah,
it'd be a good stop on the way to or on the way home from a show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, super bullish on the area for sure.
So let's talk a little bit more about beer. Is there a beer that you're excited to make coming up?
I think definitely, I have many more IPA recipes. I started with kind of the more approachable kind of IPAs, like our Lily is really meant, like Lily and Dahlia are really meant not to be like the hoppiest hazy IPAs in the world. We're really supposed to be like approachable. Folks are say they don't like IPAs because they're too bitter or too hoppy, but they're kind of IPA curious. Those are kind of the two IPAs we would recommend. Copycat gets a lot of love just because it's kind of, again, that like, it's the only kind of West Coast similar style on the menu.
Citra hops.
Yeah.
Citra hops are the best hops.
Yeah, exactly. So you get that citrusy pine. But I love doing, Southern Hemisphere hops. Cala is currently our only hazy that showcases those. We use Nelson and Enigma, two Southern Hemisphere hops. I would love to showcase some of the other kind of cool hops that I've played around with down there. I'm excited for our West Coast style IPA coming up. And then more lagers. My Vienna lager is near to dear my heart, and it's been in the bright tank for 5 or 6 weeks now, so it's almost ready to go online. It's obviously a little different than the pills, less hoppy, more bready, beautiful beer that I'm really excited to introduce. And then we're right around the corner from fall, so next in the tanks will be our fest beer, which so we can all get in that Oktoberfest spirit.
It is that season, greatest beer season.
Yeah, some breweries are a little too aggressive in my opinion. Launching those in August, I'm still enjoying some of the.
It's better than pumpkin spice.
That's fair. That's very fair.
We recently, I was recently in Australia and New Zealand and discovered Rawaka hops that I don't think I've had them before. And the most memorable part of it was when our friend Greg, who's been on the show, told us there's kind of a diesel flavor to them, which you really can't untaste once you taste it.
Yeah.
But they're such good hops. They're quite delicious.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with them. It takes you really have to dial them in my opinion. If you use them a little too heavy or kind of with the wrong combo of other hops, you'll get that, like, it'll go a little too diesely and it'll it's almost like undrinkable. But if you really fine tune it and land right in the sweet spot, you can get one of the best beers. So fantastic hops. I've played around extensively with them. Those are great hops. There's a lot of hops down there that I feel like have not gotten a lot of love. Some of my favorites are Enigma. I use Enigma a lot in a lot of my beers. Raku, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Is another good one that I only see sparingly in hazies. But there's so many. I mean, like, they're figuring out these hops, like, they started growing them 20, 30 years ago, right? And they're only just coming, like, commercially viable. And so there's always going to be, like, such a cool pipeline of hops, not just like Southern Hemisphere, but like, here. And so that's kind of what excited me so much about IPAs. Like, back in the day, it was like, 10 years from now, we'll be brewing with, like, hops we've never heard of. So, like, the innovation in terms of, like, the different flavor profiles coming out. We just released, actually, Wendy, the beer you're drinking, Passenger.
I was just going to ask about that.
Yeah. This was a beer I brewed like a few years ago using an experimental hop 630. And I look back at my brewing notes and I was like, this could be a core beer. It's super unique. Like, super unique papaya mango flavors coming out of it. And unfortunately, like, it never took off. Nobody really used it until the acreage shrunk. And now it's like super. When I ordered the hops to brew that beer, I literally got the last in inventory with my supplier. So it's like, well, I might not ever be able to brew that beer again, which to me is a shame. But so many different unique hops that, like, it takes so much time really to dial in the flavor that with hops, because if you're just, like, go across the line, like, just a smidge too far, like, the beer is, like, undrinkable. But if you're able to, like, again, land in that narrow zone, like, you just get a fantastic beer. And so it takes a lot of like iteration, dialing in, and it just takes a lot of time playing with it. And if a hop doesn't get the love it needs, people don't play around with it, and nobody is able to figure it out. Unfortunately, you kind of never see it again. But I guess fortunately, you have another hop coming in right after it. So that's really why I love hops. I mean, it's just the innovation. You always have like something new on the front lines that you get to play around with, and kind of hope it sticks. But if not, it's kind of on to the next. So whereas lagers, I feel like lagers are a different animal entirely. You have old school styles that are still being refined and changed, and just different variables to play around with. And it takes a lot of patience to just kind of think of the new you almost have to think of like the new variables that you need to play around with or can play around with to really stand out and be unique in the lager space. I think a lot of Detroit breweries focus in on that and do a great job. And, Urban Rest is a great example of a brewery that was able to fit around with like a style that's been around for so long, right? And kind of bring a unique new vision to it. So I don't know. I just, each style is like requires just such different mental math and different perspective. I just think it's really cool. And, we've kind of made kind of the hoppy stuff part of our style, but you'll see us try to contribute our own brand to some of the other styles as well. So
great.
So what have you got coming up that you might want to promote to bring people in?
Yeah, so this Sunday we have our first event. We'll have some rare plants by Rhonda coming in, and we'll have some ceramics, and we'll have our first food truck, Bammer's Barbecue. And we are working shortly on bringing more food trucks to our areas to supplement the other great food. So just stay tuned to our socials, and we're continuing to plan other events to make great use of our patio. We want to add some music out there. So just follow our socials, Cabin North Brewing on Insta and Facebook, and we'll be sure to announce more shortly. And stay tuned for the collab. We'll be hopefully announcing that in a week or two, and you'll get some more information on that. So,
do you have any festivals coming up? Are you going to do the festival circuit?
We will hopefully do that as we can. I still have my day job, and as I mentioned, we're a scrappy team, and that takes a lot of time and effort, obviously, to plan and execute. So,
yes.
Give us maybe a year to settle in, and hopefully you'll see us on the circuit.
You're starting a brewery and you have your day job. Hats off. That's a lot of time.
It's rough these days, the industry isn't what it used to be, and so you got to make it work how you can. Hopefully it's come off. I'm super passionate about beer and contributing to this great community, so we're trying to make it work as best as we can. Obviously, there's a lot of sour news coming out of the industry, but hopefully people can rejoice in a new brewery on the block. And so, more to come from us.
Excellent. We are getting pretty close to the end of the show, so I'm going to go ahead and start doing the wrap-up questions. We ask a question that may or may not be related to beer, just kind of get to know you, understand how you think, how you tick. And my question recently has been, what was the last board game that you played?
Oof. Last board game.
Yeah, and it does usually cause this where people have to think about it. Game was still Flip 7 recently, so it's been in a rut.
I think the last board game I played was Coup, which is not super popular, but it's a super cool game. You kind of get these
that's the social deduction game where you are given 2 cards and that you can choose to be the roles that are on those cards or bluff your way through and not be those roles, and they give you certain powers. Exactly. I am familiar with this game.
It's a great game.
Which game was it?
Coup, COUP.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to play a lot of what's the Hitler game?
Secret
Hitler. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
similar.
I love games where you're given an identity and it's usually hidden from other folks, and you can either bluff or be true to whatever it is, and you usually have some kind of goal that you're set out to do. But super fun game. We have it in the Coup. We have in the tap room. We have an extensive board game, kind of a little cubby to select from. So.
Coup reminds me a lot of the game Citadels, but that one you know your role. In fact, you're bidding on what your role will be next time. That gives you different powers and things, but still a fun game.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of poker back in the day, so it reminds me of bluffing in that regard.
Yes.
So
it is very much like that. Wendy, do you have a last question?
Let's see. What is... let's go with the tried and true. What is the guilty pleasure beer in your fridge right now?
Ooh. Probably Yingling.
It's a good classic beer.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but just hits the spot every time.
Well, it's new right now, too, because we couldn't
new
for a long time. So
Michigan, sure.
Yeah.
I will support their porter every day. They make an excellent porter.
I have Black and Tan in my fridge right now.
Yeah, I love that beer.
Nice. Can't go wrong there.
Yeah. Do you have anything coming up that you want us to know about that we haven't talked about yet?
No, I think we'll have more to announce. Just I would just suggest you kind of follow our socials, and we'll have more to come very shortly here.
All
right.
Stay tuned.
And Wendy, what have you got coming up?
I'm excited to see how things go there at Cabin North. For me personally, I don't have a whole lot coming up right away, but I do have a giveaway announcement to do. One of the things that we have seen happening a lot is that we have a lot of breweries closing down in our area, and it's really sad for everybody. Here at Better on Draft, we have been heartbroken quite a few times in the last few months, and we were looking at ways that we can promote the breweries that we love and the beer industry here in Michigan. And one of our past guests, Zane Lamprey, one of the things that I truly love about him is that he's so supportive of the beer community. And when he does a tour, excuse me, he tends to stick to breweries and places like that. So he is once again out on tour. That is the Half Glass Full Tour. And he is playing at a bunch of different breweries across the United States. So we have VIP tickets to Milford or Clinton Township, and we are going to give them away. We will post tomorrow the posts on social media that will give you all the information on what you need to do in order to get put in the running for the tickets. But the secret word is going to be Plebeius, which, if you know Zane Lamprey, that's the monkey that he carried around with him during all of his travels.
Okay. And when you say tomorrow, I think that means the 15th Saturday, which is when some of this will be.
Yes. Sorry, I should.
Yes.
So it will get posted at some point on August 15th.
Okay.
And we'll give it a few days because the tour dates are September 4th and September 5th. He is playing at River's Edge Brewing Company in Milford and at Coonan Brewing Company in Clinton Township. So we are going to, a winner is going to get to choose between tickets to one of those places and get to see the VIP show.
Awesome. Great. For myself and for Wendy, I am excited to say that we are going to Great American Beer Fest this year. So that is October 10 and 11 is when the festival is mostly on the 10th. The awards are on the 11th. We will be out there for that. I'm super excited to go to that and hopefully check in with some of our beer friends in Denver beforehand too. So Great American Beer Fest. You all know it if you've ever heard this show before, but it's out there in Denver every year. Great stuff. August 28th, we are having Rocky Ridge from Australia will be on the show. So that technically is August 29th for them at about 10:30 in the morning is when we will be recording. So good on them. They are just this wonderful brewery. I was in one of their tap rooms, brew pub tap rooms down there in Melbourne. Had such a wonderful time. So I am excited to get to talk to them and see how they're doing. And then the other thing that I've got going on is Labor Day weekend is coming up really soon. I will be in Grand Rapids. So if you see somebody in a banana or pickle or hot dog, or I don't know what I'll be wearing something each day. But that is Friday through Sunday of Labor Day weekend. I will be wandering around Grand Rapids and in the DeVos Convention Center playing board games. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sounds exciting.
I
love the costumes.
Yes. And I think that about does it for today. So again, Alex, thank you very much for being on. We are excited to see how Cabin North travels. I will get up there eventually, I'm sure. I hear Wendy has already been there at least twice.
A couple times.
Yeah, a couple times. So that's great. And then we will close our show like we close every show and say, whatever you think of your beer, we think it's better on draft.
Cheers.